Good evening. Am I audible to everyone? Pinali, good evening. Hemant, good evening. Nikita, good evening. Am I audible to everyone? Please respond. Yadav, good evening. Am I audible to everyone? Yes, Reddy, good evening. Kirtana, good evening. What we discussed yesterday? Sai Rajesh, good evening. Hari Krishna, good evening. Jagadish, good evening. What we discussed yesterday? Yes, oops concept. So today I'm going to start with JavaScript. So whatever we discussed yesterday, everything is clear. So whatever we discussed yesterday till this part, everything is clear. Any doubts so far? Yes, till yesterday I was discussing with you about Java. What do you mean by overloading and overriding concepts? So today I'm going to discuss, yes, yesterday I was discussing with you about OOPS concept. So today I'm going to give you a brief introduction to JavaScript. So what do you mean by JavaScript? So it's a lightweight interpreted programming language. Clear? So what do you mean by JavaScript? So firstly, as I was telling you, right, so in order to learn ReactJS, so it is a mix of JavaScript and HTML. So firstly, today I'm going to start with JavaScript. And tomorrow, let me just start with HTML and I will give you some brief introduction to HTML as well. So what is JavaScript? It is a kind of programming language. So it is easier to implement and it can be integrated with HTML. Clear with this? So what is JavaScript? So it's easier to implement and it can be integrated with HTML. So it's open and cross-platform. Clear with this? So what is JavaScript? So scripting language. Whenever I'm developing any web pages, if I want to do some validations, I can go for this scripting language. Yes, Siva, yesterday I was discussing with you about abstract class, interface. There was some technical issues, so the class was a little bit late today. So JavaScript is nothing. So it can be integrated with HTML. So whenever I'm developing any web pages, so I can go for JavaScript. So if I want to do some validations, I can go for this JavaScript. So clear with this? What do you mean by JavaScript? So why I have to learn JavaScript? So why I have to go for this JavaScript? So it's the popular language in the world, programming language. So whenever I want to develop some front end as well as back end software using different types of JavaScript frameworks, I can go for Node.js, jQuery. So why I have to learn JavaScript? So all these are the major reasons. It is easier to implement. So it can be installed on any browser and they did not need any special environment setup. So once you are going to write any scripting code, for example JavaScript, whenever you want to integrate HTML with JavaScript, so it can run on any type of browser. For example, you can run on Chrome, Firefox, Safari. So it can run on any type of browser. Clear with this? So what is JavaScript and why I have to learn this JavaScript? So why I have to learn this JavaScript? So I can create some fast websites. So whenever I want to develop any kind of website, so I can go for this scripting language. Clear with this? So what do you mean by JavaScript? So it has now extended to mobile app development, desktop app development, game development. So React JavaScript, this is one popularly used technology in today's world. Clear with this? So what do you mean by JavaScript and what are all the major reasons why I have to go for this JavaScript? So today Java programmers, they make more money. So why I have to go for this JavaScript? So there are many, I'm just giving you a brief introduction to this, what do you mean by JavaScript. So I'm going to discuss with you about some examples, so I will understand this better. What do you mean by scripting language? So I'm going to discuss with you about different types of events available in JavaScript. What is the use of onclick event, onSubmit event, and other type of events available in JavaScript. So there are many JavaScript frameworks and libraries. You can go for Angular JavaScript, you can go for ReactJS. So ReactJS, this is one emerging technology in today's world. I'm going to discuss with you about ReactJS in detail. So I'm giving you a brief introduction to ReactJS. What do you mean by ReactJS? So all these are the different types of JavaScript frameworks and libraries. So you can go for AngularJS and you can go for ReactJS. Clear with this? So what do you mean by JavaScript? So I'm giving you a brief introduction to this technology. What is JavaScript? Why you have to go for JavaScript, and what are the different applications of JavaScript programming? So all these are the different applications. So I can go for client-side validation whenever I want to manipulate some HTML pages. So I can go for this JavaScript programming, user notifications. So what do you mean by this client-side validation? So all these are the different applications of JavaScript programming. So basically where you can apply this technique. React JavaScript. So this is one emerging technology, as I was telling you, right? So why I have to go for this React JavaScript? So many companies like Netflix, WhatsApp, so all big giant companies are employing this scripting language. So all these are the different applications of JavaScript programming. So what are the different applications? So I can go for client-side validation, manipulating HTML pages. So what do you mean by this client-side validation? So whenever I want to verify any user input, if I want to submit to the server, and JavaScript plays an important role. Clear with this? So whenever I am submitting some user input, so I am going to receive some requests from the client. Whenever I am going to submit it to the server, so it plays an important role in validating these inputs. And if I want to manipulate some HTML pages, so whenever I am going to modify some HTML look and feel on devices, so I can go for this JavaScript. So all these are the different applications, user notifications. So if I want to display some pop-up messages on the web pages, I'm going to discuss with you about different types of dialog boxes. What is the use of alert box and other type of dialog boxes available in JavaScript. And backend data loading. So it provides Ajax library. It helps in loading backend data. Clear with this? So all these are the different applications of JavaScript programming and presentations. So server applications. So all these are the different applications of going for this JavaScript. So mainly for validations. So what is the important application of JavaScript programming? So what are the main major reasons why I have to go for this JavaScript programming? So in order to do some client-side validation, for example, whenever a user, he is entering some inputs, so I can develop any kind of registration form. So I can develop an employee registration form, or I can develop a student registration form or patient registration form. So whenever I am developing some registration forms, so if I want to do some validations, I can go for this JavaScript. Clear with this? So what do you mean by JavaScript? And all these are the different applications of JavaScript programming. So in order to learn this, so firstly you should be aware of HTML. What do you mean by hypertext markup language? So basically whenever I am going to discuss, so I am going to discuss with you about HTML. So firstly I am going to discuss with you about JavaScript. For example, whenever I am developing any web pages, so if I want to do some validations, I can go for this JavaScript. Clear with this? So what is JavaScript? I am giving you a brief overview to this technology. What do you mean by JavaScript? So it's a dynamic programming language. It's a lightweight and most commonly used as part of web pages. Clear with this? So it comes with object-oriented capabilities. So all these are the different, I'm just giving you a brief overview to this technology. What do you mean by scripting language? For example, you are developing an employee registration form, or you are developing a student registration form, patient registration form. So whenever the patient he is entering many details, so whatever is the username, password, so if he has left some fields as empty, so if I want to do some validations, I can go for this JavaScript. Clear with this? So what do you mean by JavaScript? So why I have to go for this scripting language? So all these are the major reasons why I have to go for this scripting language. So it's a lightweight programming language and it is designed for creating network-centric applications. It can be integrated with Java and it can be integrated with HTML. So whenever I'm developing some web pages, for example, when a user is going to, for example, you can consider any type of online website. So what is the main advantage of going for this scripting language? Validations. So whatever web page, if I want to add some dynamism to my static HTML page, I can go for this scripting language. Clear with this? So what do you mean by JavaScript? For example, whenever I'm creating a student registration form, patient registration form, employee registration form, so I have many fields. I have a text box, radio button, checkbox. So if I want to do some validation, so if I have left some password field as empty, so if I want to do some validations, so I can go for the scripting language. Clear with this? So whenever a person he is going to submit the that is registration page, whenever he is going to click the submit button, so if some fields are left empty, so if I want to do some validations, I can go for the scripting language. Clear with this? So what do you mean by JavaScript? So it's the most common form of the language. So it should be referenced by an HTML document. So whenever I want the code to be interpreted by the browser, so it should be referenced by an HTML document. So it can include some programs, they interact with the user, they control the browser. And whenever I want to add some dynamism to my HTML page, so I can go for this scripting language. So if I want to say, for example, I am developing a web page for an employee management system or student management system, hospital management system. Clear with this? So whenever I am developing some website, so if I want to know whether a person has entered a valid email address or not, or he has entered a valid, for example, password field or not. So I want to check whether the user has entered an email address, it is a valid email address. I want to do some validations, I can go for this scripting language. So this is called as client-side JavaScript. So the JavaScript code is executed whenever the user he is going to submit the form. So only if all the entries are valid, it should be submitted to the web server. So I'm going to discuss with you about different types of events. So how the validations are being done. I'm giving you a brief introduction to this Java scripting language. What is the use of this scripting language? So it can be used to trap some initiated events such as button clicks. So whenever a person he wants to click some button, or he wants to do some navigation, and whenever he wants to do some other type of actions. Clear with this? So what do you mean by this JavaScript and what are the different types of events? For example, on-click event. So whenever a person he is going to click some button, some action should happen. So based on some events, some actions should happen. So validations. What do you mean by this scripting language? So the user initiates an action. So under the actions, whenever an event occurs, on-click event or on-change event. So I'm going to discuss with you about different types of events. For example, if I'm going to move my mouse inside a text box, some alert message should apply. Or I want to do some validations. I want to display some alert box or what are the dialog boxes. So all those validations can be implemented by using this scripting language. So till this part, whatever I am speaking, everything is clear. Java server pages, it's used for developing front-end pages, web pages. JavaScript, it is used to do some validations. So whenever I want to add some dynamism, I'm going to give you some examples of JavaScript. Clear with this? Till this part, whatever I'm speaking, everything is clear. Any doubts so far? Any doubts so far? Till this part, whatever I'm speaking, everything is clear. If you are interested, you can go to InstaMojo and you can register for ReactJS internship program, ReactJS 1. This is the coupon code. Once you register for the internship, you will be getting access to the PPTs, the recorded videos, the project files, how the projects are being developed. You will be gaining more practical knowledge. Once you attend this masterclass for 25 days, you will be receiving a free webinar certificate, and the internship users, they will be receiving an internship certificate as well as a participation certificate. If you are interested, you can go to InstaMojo and you can register for ReactJS internship program, ReactJS 1. This is the coupon code. Once you register for the internship, you will be getting access to the PPTs, the recorded videos, the project files, how the projects are being developed. You will be gaining more practical knowledge. Once you attend this masterclass for 25 days, you will be receiving a free webinar certificate, and the internship users, they will be receiving an internship certificate as well as a participation certificate. So the registration fee comes around 999 rupees. So once the last date for internship registration is 14th of April. If you are going to register for the internship after this date, so the registration fee comes around 1179 rupees. Alright. If you are interested, you can go to InstaMojo and you can register for ReactJS internship program, ReactJS 1. This is the coupon code. Once you register for the internship, you will be getting access to the PPTs, the recorded videos, the project files, how the projects are being developed. You will be gaining more practical knowledge. Once you attend this masterclass for 25 days, you will be receiving a free webinar certificate, and the internship users, they will be receiving an internship certificate as well as a participation certificate. So till this part, whatever I am speaking, everything is clear. Any doubts so far? Till this part, whatever I am speaking, everything is clear. So what are all the major advantage of going for this scripting language? So anybody can tell me what are all the merits? So why I have to go for this scripting language? What are all the major advantage of this scripting language? So immediate feedback. So whenever I am going to type in something, as I was telling you, right? So it can be integrated with HTML. So whenever I am going to develop some web pages, if I want to do some validation, so I can go for this scripting language. Clear with this? So what do you mean by JavaScript? So for example, whenever I am developing, as I was telling you, right, if a person, so what is a valid email address or what is a valid password? So immediate feedback to the visitors, increased interactivity. So whenever onclick, I am going to discuss with you about different concepts of JavaScript. So I am giving you a brief introduction to JavaScript. So what are the major advantage of going for this scripting language? Clear with this? So what are the advantages? So all these are the major advantages of going for this scripting language. So immediate feedback to the visitors. So there is no need for the visitors to reload. So if they have forgotten to enter something, so increased interactivity. Whenever a person is going to hover his mouse, it activates via the keyboard. So onclick event, onmouseover event, onchange event. So I am going to discuss with you about different types of events in JavaScript. And rich interfaces. So all these are the important main advantages of going for this JavaScript. So why I have to go for this scripting language? So less server interaction. Clear with this? So immediate feedback to the visitors. So whenever, instead of refreshing my entire page, I am going to discuss with you about some examples so that you will understand. So I am just highlighting what are the important advantages of going for this scripting language. So immediate feedback to the visitors. So what is the main advantage here? Immediate feedback. So whenever a person he is going to enter something, so immediately he is going to get back the corresponding response. Immediate feedback to the visitors. So for example, he has entered something in his text box or radio button. For example, what are the different fields that are present? So whenever a person he has entered a wrong email ID and alert box. So an alert dialog box. So invalid email address. Immediate feedback to the visitors. And increased interactivity. So I am going to discuss whenever he is going to hover some MouseOver event, or I am going to discuss with you about different types of events. Onclick event, onchange event. So all these are the important advantages of going for this JavaScript. Clear with this? So client-side JavaScript. So all these are the limitations. So it cannot be used for networking applications. It doesn't have multi-threading capabilities. So at a time I can write only one script for one HTML page. So multi-threading capabilities. So all these are the important disadvantage of going for this JavaScripting language. Clear with this? So what are the advantages, the main merits? So immediate feedback to the visitors, increased interactivity and richer interfaces. So all these are the major advantages of going for JavaScript. And when you consider the limitations, so there is no support and it doesn't have multi-threading capabilities. So all these are the limitations of going for this JavaScript. So next I'm going to give you some syntax, how to use this scripting language. So you are clear with the advantages and disadvantages of going for JavaScript. So what are all the major advantages and disadvantages? So what is the syntax? So whenever I want to write any scripting code, so what is the syntax for writing any kind of JavaScript code? So it should be written within script tags. It should have a starting script tag and a closing script tag. Clear with this? So everything should be written inside my script tag. So what are type of validations I want to do? So everything should be written in my starting script tag and closing script tag. So I can place the script tags containing the JavaScript so anywhere in the web page. So if I want to place some script tags, so I can just place them in my head tags. So this is the syntax. So whenever I want to write any JavaScript code, so it should have a starting script tag and a closing script tag. So anything can be written inside my script tag. Clear with this? So what is the use of JavaScript and how you have to, it is the corresponding, I am just telling you a syntax. So when I am going to discuss with you about some examples, you will understand this better. Clear with this? So generally I should include this script tag inside my head section. So whatever type of scripting code I want to write, so it should be written in my starting script tag and closing script tag. So it should have a starting script tag and a closing script tag. Clear with this? So whatever type of JavaScript coding I want to write, so it should have a starting script tag and a closing script tag. So inside my script tag, it takes two important attributes. Whenever I am going to discuss with you about hypertext markup language, so whenever you consider any type of language, hypertext markup language, everything is based on tags and attributes. Clear with this? So when you consider this script tag, so it contains two important attributes. So what is the use of attributes? The entire hypertext markup language. I am going to discuss with you about HTML. So entire hypertext markup language, it is based on tags and attributes. So what is the use of attributes? They provide some additional information about my tag elements. So whatever type of tag elements I am going to use, the attributes, they provide some additional information about my tag elements. So I have two important attributes. Whenever I am going to discuss with you about JavaScript, I have a language attribute. What is this? What type of scripting language I am using? So today it will be of JavaScript, and what is the type? So text or JavaScript. So whenever I am going to consider any script tag, it contains two important attributes. One is called as a language attribute and one more is called as a type attribute. Clear with this? So whatever type of JavaScript coding I want to write, so this is the corresponding syntax here. So I have to use this script tag. So whenever I want to write any JavaScript coding, so I have to use this script tag and attribute. So whatever is the language. So what is the use of attributes? They provide some additional information about my tag elements. So whatever type of tag elements I am using, the attributes, they provide some additional information about my tag elements. So language equal to within double quotes I am mentioning here as JavaScript, and type equal to within double quotes I am giving here as text or JavaScript. So clear with this? So whatever type of code I want to type here, so I have to type the JavaScript code. I have a starting script tag and a closing script tag. So till this part clear? So this is the syntax. Whenever I want to write any JavaScript code, so I should have this script tag, and inside this I am having this language attribute. So within double quotes I am mentioning, so whatever is the language I am mentioning here as JavaScript, and type equal to within double quotes text or JavaScript. So I am having this starting script tag and closing script tag. So all these, so JavaScript, it ignores the spaces, semicolons are optional. So all these are the different rules. So case sensitive. So JavaScript is a case sensitive language. For example, if I am going to use some identifiers, so capital time and small case, so uppercase and lowercase time, they convey different meanings in JavaScript. So it is a case sensitive language. Clear with this? So let me just show you one example using this JavaScript so you will understand this better. So I will show you a simple example. So this is how I have to write any kind of JavaScript coding. 1 minute. So whenever I want to write any HTML coding, so I should have this HTML tag, and inside this I am having this body tag. So I am going to discuss with you about HTML. So I am giving you a brief introduction to this JavaScript. So script language. So everything is based on tags and attributes. So script, I have this language attribute. Whenever I want to write any JavaScript coding, so inside this language attribute equal to within double quotes, I am giving here as JavaScript. And type equal to within double quotes, I am giving here as text or JavaScript, and document.write function. So whichever inbuilt functions I have to call using this variable, using dot operator, I am just calling this write function. So whenever I want to write something, for example, I am giving some message. So welcome to JavaScript or ReactJS, whatever I am saying. So I am just saying welcome to JavaScript. Clear with this? So whatever type of scripting, that is JavaScript code I want to write. So document, using this document variable, using dot operator, I have to call the corresponding inbuilt function. So I am calling this write function, and within double quotes I am giving here as welcome to JavaScript. So I am having this starting script tag and closing script tag. I am closing my body tag, and finally I am closing my HTML tag. So whenever I want to save any HTML documents, it should be saved with .html extension. Clear with this? So welcome to JavaScript. So this will be displayed in my web browser. With this, I am just stopping today. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. If you are interested, you can go to InstaMojo and you can register for ReactJS internship program, ReactJS 1. This is the coupon code. Once you register for the internship, you will be getting access to the PPTs, the recorded videos, the project files, how the projects are being developed. You will be gaining more practical knowledge. Once you attend this masterclass for 25 days, you will be receiving a free webinar certificate. And the internship users, they will be receiving an internship certificate as well as a participation certificate. So 14th of April, this is the last date for internship registration. And once, so the internship fee comes around 999 rupees. And once you are going to register after this date, so the internship fees comes around 1179 rupees. Just double click that HTML file and you can just see the result in the web browser. JavaScript, so whenever I want to do some validations in the web page, so I can go for this scripting language. Any more doubts? I hope I am clear with my topics. So remaining things we will see on Saturday. Same time, same link. Thank you all.